Alright, so the next of the ongoing projects for this 1969 Yellow Boss is to install some subframe connectors. These old Mustangs are all unibody cars and only have front subframes and rear subframes and nothing connecting them in between but the floor panels and the rocker panels. And so a lot of guys will install subframe connectors that weld in or bolt in, such as these. These are from Tin Man Fabrication. These are subframe connectors that weld in, and what you have to do is cut open the front frame rails, slide them in at the front, weld them in, and then at the back these weld and tie directly into the rear subframes.
Torque boxes.
The torque boxes and frame rails. So we're going to show you how to install these. Alright, so I'm just going to clean these up, throw a coat of primer on them. Focusing especially on the top because you can't paint the top once it's in the car, and we'll probably throw a quick coat of black on the top side before we put it in. And at the same time, Dad's just gonna cut open the back sides of the frame rail. What you do is you just cut off the end cap so you can slide in the subframe connectors. Alright, so clean these up with some wax and grease remover, scuff them with a scuff pad. Now we're going to get a couple coats of self-etching primer on them, and then we'll get a couple coats of black on the tops of them before we install them in the car. Okay, so a key step in installing these subframe connectors is to have the vehicle sitting naturally and in a level state. So since there's no engine in it, we can't really achieve completely that, but we put it under ramps at the front, which is sitting on its wheels, and then jacked up underneath the jack stands at the back, which distributes the weight and the leaf springs naturally. And what we did to get it level was take a 4-foot level and check for level along the bottoms of the rockers, front to back, on both sides, and then left to right check along the frame rails at the back and at the front using a block of wood, one frame rails at the back and a 4-foot level, and then at the front just from front frame rail to front frame rail to check for level. To achieve perfectly level at the back, we had to use a couple t-shirts on the driver's side to shim it up a bit on that side, and also at the front as well.
There's a 3/4 inch chunk of oak underneath that tire to get that up a little higher.
So underneath the wheel there, it's shimmed as well. So you have to play with it a little bit to get it level, but once it's level, then you're good to cut open the frame rails and then install the subframe connectors. Alright, so cut open the frame rails just like this. On both sides. Now we can slip in the subframes and test fit them. So just test fitting it here. As you can see, we slid it into the frame here, and there's a gap on the left side, but there's a piece of metal welded to it. And then what we're gonna have to do here is slice this metal and then bang it in and then weld it solid along here. But for now we're just marking it, and then we're gonna take it back out. We're marking it back here, and then we're going to clear up the paint around there so we can prep it for welding. And then we're going to drill 2 half-inch holes, 2 inches and 4 inches in on both sides of the frame rail, so we can do spot welds there, and then it's going to get welded solid around the lip completely. Okay, so what we're actually going to do here at the back to line it up and give us enough room for welds along the entire top sides and the sides as well is line up directly with the back of the torque box, so we have a place that'll be matching on both sides, front to back, and then that way we can also tie in along this side as well to the torque box. So we went around with a drill and wire wheel, cleared up all the areas that we're going to be welding on both these subframes. Everywhere, and on the frame. here, and here. And now we're ready to fit them up, tack them on, and then weld them solid. Okay, so we've welded up one of the subframes so far at the back and done the plugs at the front of it, and now we're going to come along and do the beads around the side. I'm just going to take a body hammer and whack this in so it's flush against the subframe, and then just weld it all the way around completely, and then we'll do the same to the other side. Alright, finished welding both of the subframe connectors on completely. Here's a look of them from the side of the car, how they look welded in. Now it's just a matter of cleaning up some of the welds, throwing a coat on the paint over top of the welds, and then we're done. Here's just a better view from the side of the car and how they look. They look like they match in pretty well. Low profile. And they tie in nicely with the rear subframes. Let's go from the back. Let's see how they look. There's the left subframe. Cool. Okay, so the subframe connectors have been cleaned up. The welds have been cleaned up a little bit and painted. All the welds are painted, and to match the rest of the undercarriage, this is the finished product. Here's what they look like. Hope this helped. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.